What if our heart was transparent? In the beginning, God created humans with their hearts open. Every emotion, every thought, every secret was on full display for all to see. It was a world where there was no hiding, no deception, and no secrets. At first, people were shocked and embarrassed by the openness of their hearts. They couldn't believe that everyone could see their innermost thoughts and emotions. But as time passed, they started to realize that this transparency was a gift. It meant that there were no more misunderstanding, no more hurtful rumors, and no more lies. Everyone knew exactly how everyone else felt, and there was no room for misinterpretation. As the years went by, the world flourished. People were kinder to each other, they were more empathetic, and they worked together to build a better society. There were no more wars, no more conflicts, and no more hate. People were finally living in harmony, and it was all thanks to their transparent hearts. But as with any paradise, there was a serpent lurking in the shadows. There were those who didn't want to live in a world where their secrets were on display for everyone to see. They wanted to keep their thoughts and emotions to themselves, to use them as a tool to manipulate others. These individuals started to band together, forming secret societies where they could discuss their plans without fear of being exposed. They plotted against those who lived openly, seeking to undermine their happiness and success. God saw what was happening and knew that something had to be done. He decided to create a new world, one where people could choose to live with their hearts open or closed. It was a risky move, as there was a chance that the closed-hearted individuals would try to dominate the open-hearted ones. But God had faith in humanity. He believed that those who chose to live with their hearts open would ultimately prevail. And so, He split the world in two, creating two separate realms. One was a world where people lived with their hearts open, and the other was a world where people could choose to live with their hearts closed. The two worlds were vastly different. The open-hearted world was full of love, compassion, and understanding. People worked together to build a better world, and there was no need for secrecy or deception. The closed-hearted world, on the other hand, was full of conflict, mistrust, and fear. People lived in constant competition with each other, never truly knowing who they could trust. As time passed, the open-hearted world continued to thrive. People were happy, healthy, and free. They lived in a world where they could be their true selves, without fear of judgment or retribution. The closed-hearted world, however, started to crumble. The lack of trust and understanding led to endless conflict and suffering. Eventually, the two worlds started to merge. Those who lived with their hearts open started to venture into the closed-hearted world, bringing with them their love and compassion. They started to help those who lived in fear, showing them that there was another way to live. Over time, the two worlds became one. People started to realize that living with their hearts open was the key to a happy and fulfilling life. They learned that by being honest and transparent, they could build trust and understanding with others. They understood that their thoughts and emotions were not something to be ashamed of, but rather something to be celebrated. And so, the world continued to flourish. It was a world where people could be their true selves, where love and compassion reigned supreme, and where there was no need for deception or secrecy. It was a world where the heart was transparent, and that was a beautiful thing. As the world continued to thrive, people became more connected than ever before. The transparency of their hearts allowed for deeper connections and understanding between individuals, communities, and nations. It was a world where everyone was truly equal, as no one could hide behind their secrets or manipulate others with lies. The world was not perfect, of course. There were still challenges to be faced and conflicts to be resolved. But the people of this world were resilient and resourceful, and they tackled each problem with compassion and understanding. As the generations passed, the memory of the closed-hearted world started to fade. The children born into this world knew nothing of secrets, lies, or deception. They lived in a world where transparency was the norm, and they were free to express themselves without fear. It was in this new world that a young girl was born, one who was different from the others. Her heart was not transparent like everyone else's. She could hide her thoughts and emotions from others, and she could not see into the hearts of those around her. The girl was confused and scared. She didn't understand why she was different or why her heart was not like everyone else's. She felt like an outsider, disconnected from the world around her. But as she grew older, the girl started to realize that her difference was not a curse, but a gift. She could see the world from a different perspective, one that allowed her to understand the value of privacy and individuality. She started to see that the transparency of the heart was not without its drawbacks, and that there was a need for balance between openness and privacy. The girl started to share her perspective with others, and soon, she became a leader in her community. She taught others the importance of respecting individuality and the need for privacy, while still maintaining the transparency of the heart. She helped others understand that it was possible to live in a world where people could be themselves without fear of judgment or retribution, while still protecting their personal space and privacy. And so, the world continued to evolve. It was a world where the heart was transparent, but where privacy and individuality were still valued. It was a world where people could be themselves, free from fear or shame. It was a world where the girl, who was once an outsider, became a leader and a visionary, helping others to understand the true beauty and complexity of the human heart.